Hello and welcome to Road to October, a librarian's review of horror literature. My name is James Tyner. I'm a librarian with Fresno County Public Library. I also am a published poet with a writing degree, an MFA in creative writing, and I absolutely love the horror genre. So I'm so glad that you joined me again, that we're here. Let's talk about some great books. Today is a very special episode, at least for me. This is the number one most recommended book that I recommend to people that come to the library that want to read horror. I've read Stephen King, I like his books. What else do you recommend? This is my go-to. I can't wait to share this with all of you. Some of you may have heard this, some may not, but it's my number one most recommended book. Let's get into it. And once again, this is a show where we're going to go over horror literature, and that's going to include novels, graphic novels, and down the road, even some nonfiction. I can't wait to get into it. It's going to be a blast. But let's get started with today's book. This is Horns by Joe Hill, the number one most requested book that I recommend to others. I picked this book up a few years ago on a whim. I hadn't really heard anything about it. I was just looking for something to read. It happened to be in the branch, so I picked it up and read it, and I was blown away. Absolutely mesmerized by the book. One of the best opening sequences I've ever read in a novel. So much fun. So I'll get into it a little more. Let's stop there for now. Let's talk about the author, Joe Hill. Full name, Joseph Hillstrom King. Did I drop a hint there? King is the last name. So if you're not able to put it together yet, he is actually the son of Stephen King. He goes by Joe Hill because when he was going to school and starting to get published, he wanted to separate himself from his dad. He wanted to do it on his own. So he wanted to get published by his own writing, his own merits. So he was kind of inspired again by his dad. I don't know if any of you remember this, but Stephen King did something similar. He wrote a few novels by the name Richard Bachman, Stephen King did. And King says the reason why he did that is he wanted to show people that he wasn't just a brand, that it wasn't just a name, that he really was a good writer, that he did have the skill sets, that he could get published under other names as well. And so I guess Joe Hill kind of had that to heart, and he wanted to show that he could be a good writer as well and do it not off the name, just off of his own skills. So he went by Joe Hill. Now, as he was starting to get published, he started to win awards. He won Bram Stoker's award for short story, I believe. The word got out. Somebody broke the story. I think it was Vanity Fair kind of leaked out that he may be the son of Stephen King. And if you ever see a picture of him, he looks just like his dad. I mean, there's no mistaking it. They look identical. Look it up. Go to Google, type it in, look at the images. I mean, he looks identical to his father. So you can put two and two together pretty quickly. But at the same time, having said that, I don't mean to tease the guy. He's super talented. If I were to kind of compare Joe Hill and his dad, I would say, in all honesty, Joe Hill has more heart. He's got a lot of heart to his writing, a lot of emotion. You really feel for the characters. He ties in a lot of pop culture. He makes characters that might not seem identifiable, very identifiable. Like one of his books is about a rock star, and he makes that person so human, so relatable, and that's really his strength. I would say his dad, Stephen King, is not only more experienced, obviously, but also a little scarier. Stephen King, I'd say, is more scary, whereas Joe Hill is just more heart, gets the more emotion. And that right there is one of the reasons why I recommend it a lot. And I promise I'll get into that more. But yes, son of Joe Hill, has won several awards on his writing. Did I say son of Joe Hill? Son of Stephen King. He's won awards on his own. He won the Bram Stoker's, which is a horror award. He won it for short story as well as for one of his books. He won something called the Locus Award for horror novels. He even won an Eisner Award. An Eisner Award is for comic books. I don't know if you've heard of it. There's a very famous comic book series called Lock and Key that he wrote. It was recently turned into a series on Netflix, so check that out. Also, I will say that the book we're going to talk about today, Horns, was also turned into film. It was a few years back. It had Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter as the lead actor. I'll go into it a little bit more later, but I will say that, a lot of times people say the book is better than the movie, and that's definitely the case here. Not that the movie's bad, it's worth a watch, but the book is outstanding. So that's Joe Hill. He does have other books as well, Nosferatu, The Fireman, several good, also great short story collections. Great author, so I highly recommend check him out. If you enjoy Stephen King, look up Joe Hill. People don't seem to know him quite as much, and a lot of people don't know that he is the son of Stephen King. So yeah, definitely a great new author out there. So let's talk about horns. My number one requested book, or recommended book when people come in. So why is that? So first off, I'm going to give you a little bit about the book to kind of hook you. There may be spoilers. I apologize. I'm going to try and give as little as possible, but I want you to kind of know what you're getting into, and maybe it'll interest you. So very quickly, this follows a man named Ig. He wakes up one day hungover, and he's looking in the mirror, kind of washing his face, and he sees that horns have grown out of his head. Bony, devil-looking horns poking out of his head. And he has no clue. So that's the opening. The book kind of goes from there. It's sort of a mystery. Ig's girlfriend was murdered. And as it goes on, he's trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening. So there's a bit of mystery here. And the horns have given him a little bit of powers. Again, I don't want to reveal too much, but people seem to have to tell the truth when they're around him now with the horns. Also, they act out on some of their baser instincts. So it kind of adds to this idea of him trying to find out who the murderer is, and this whole thing of mystery as he searches through and goes through the book and the story develops. So definitely, but it also adds this sense of surrealness. One of the things Joe Hill does, he's so human, his characters are so human, you understand them, but he adds this sort of surreal layer, and he doesn't really go into it, doesn't bother to really give you too much, but as you read, it makes sense. It becomes normal and a part of the whole, and that's what happens here. So it's just this young man who wakes up with these horns, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, and it is absolutely beautifully done. There's just so much heart. The writing is excellent. So yeah, it's one that I throw out there a lot because it's easy to pick up, it's easy to get into, and it's a lot of fun, and you really care for these characters, and it is heart-wrenching at times. The story gets pretty rough, and it breaks your heart. It can be a tearjerker at times, but it's so much fun, and the writing is so well developed. So that's a little bit about horns for you. One of my most recommended books. I highly recommend checking it out. The library has lots of copies. So let's get into the recommendation part. So creep factor. I always like to talk about how scary it is. Some people don't like things that are too scary, or some people want super scary. So let's talk about creep factor for horns. This is it right here, just in case you want to see. Creep factor, I'm going to give this a 5 pumpkins, right in the middle. It's not that scary. It's not the ghosts and zombies and monsters coming at you and making you jump. That's not what this is about. It is surreal. There are some very horrific moments, some things that make you go, whoa. But there's also a whole lot of heart. There's a whole lot of love. This is, I don't want to ruin too much, but there's a really strong love story here. And that's part of it. So I think that puts the creep factor right in the middle. And that is also why I recommend this book a lot, because it's not too scary. You can jump into it. So the writing, let's talk about the writing. I ain't going to hesitate. 10 pumpkins. This is brilliant. It's a brilliant book. He draws you in. You're there with the characters. Things are so strange, but it makes sense, and you feel with them, and you're experiencing with them, and the dialogue and the way people treat each other. And you'll see flashes of his dad here. You'll see that awesome characterization and that character building, and these people that you'll come to know on a first name basis. Just brilliant writing. So no hesitation. 10 pumpkins. Do I like this? I always, I want to tell you guys, even though I'm maybe recommending it, did I as a reader like it? Yes. No hesitation, and absolutely one of my favorite books that I've read. I'd say this is one of the greatest horror novels of this century. It is that good. Just hands down one of the best. You're going to have a great time reading this. It's super fun. It's not too scary, but it's intense. Great characters, just good story. Yeah, I'll stop repeating myself. I don't want to gush too much because you're going to read this and you're going to be like, James, you were wrong. And then, well, either way, you know what? Put it in the comments. But yeah, this is one that I recommend a lot. And I get people coming back in the library saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'd never heard of him. I enjoyed that book. So that's why I'm throwing this one out there. And I've had people literally come back and talk about their experience reading it. So that's my most recommended. So do I recommend this? I think you all know the answer. Highly. Again, as a librarian, as somebody who works and throws out books a lot for people, especially for the horror genre, this is my go-to. So yes, I do recommend this. Please check it out. If you're in Fresno County Public Library area, we have tons of copies. There's even you can read it for downloadable books. We have copies that are available as well. Check this one out. I think you'll really enjoy it. And he's one of the groundbreakers right now in terms of the horror genre, with making comics, making TV series. Again, as I mentioned, this was made into a movie with Daniel Radcliffe. The movie, it's a solid B-, C+, nowhere near this level. It's a good film. It's fun. It's a good popcorn movie. But the book is on another level. It's just so great. Please check it out. Hopefully I didn't hype it up for you too much. But this is a great one. This is one of the go-tos that I do. So I think you're going to like this. Check it out. Let me know what you think down below. Once again, I'm always open to suggestions. I want to hear what you thought of the books after you've read them. Once again, my email is james.tyner. That's Tyner at fresnolibrary.org. I got some good ones coming down the line for you. But again, I want to know. I want to listen to you. I want to hear what you think. Are the reviews going all right? Should I add some more recommendations somewhere? Or who would you like me to review? And I'll be throwing those out. I can't wait to hear from all of you. And I got more good recommendations coming down the pipe. So again, thank you for watching Road to October. We're getting closer to Halloween, so I've got the scary ones coming down. So again, thank you so much. And we will see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.